All right. Good morning, everyone. Um, Today we're gonna have Alejandro Cruz and we have Mario Rodriguez. Morning, guys. From Alejandro, we have here in Cooper City. Mario is the loan officer at Pines. God, can't talk this. Pines and Weston branches. Yeah, not enough. I still have it in my hand. There's going to be some big changes coming up that are only going to be to your guys' benefit. Um, on September 11th will be September 11th will be part two of the South Florida title app and presentation. Then the week after that, we are going to have Wiley Chambliss come in and discuss because we're moving from, okay, not moving from, but right now we have Transaction Desk and we do everything for Transaction Desk. United, Corporate United as a whole is making a tremendous investment to move us to, it's called Transact. It's the same format as Transaction Desk. It's the same company, Lone Wolf, but it integrates everything. So you'll have a CRM that drips as emails. What was the name of that company?
Uh, Trans.
No, follow up. Okay, it's just like follow up something. I don't want to say the name.
Yeah.
So everything will be integrated. Your MLS, your follow up, your CRM. You can send out emails, text, drips. Also, it has AI built in that can do a CRM for you. Also, I'm sorry, do a CMA. And what it'll do is, so when you send the CMA, it will update the people on what was in the CMA. So if there was somebody, one of the properties went pending sale, they'll get a notification. If somebody reduced the price, then they'll get a notification. It'll be much easier, especially in this market, to get price reductions. People still think it's a couple years ago where you can list your property way overpriced and then get 50 offers that are way overpriced. That doesn't exist anymore. We are now in a buyer's market. Sellers are paying closing costs. Um, so it's awesome. I did a hour and a half impromptu. The gentleman from Lone Wolf was walking us through it and all the different features. And I mean, it even has Canva built in for your marketing. It's incredible. And this is all at corporate's expense. There's no expense to you for this guy. And if I told you how much it cost, you wouldn't believe me. Um, but it will change the way you do business. It will make your life so much easier. Instead of having 5 or 6 different programs that you need every day to work, you're going to have one, everything integrated. Um, so that should be rolled out in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have online training, Zoom training, but it's awesome. It's super user friendly. Um, and also, I will have a lot of training before it's rolled out to be able to help everybody and walk everybody through it. Um, but it's going to be the same forms you need to upload. All that doesn't change. Just how we're going to do it. You can send out also unlimited emails and unlimited texts. So some of these companies you can only send out a certain amount of text. It's unlimited. Um, so that's that. And I'm going to bring up Alejandro Cruz to get started.
Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's doing great. My name is Alejandro Cruz. I'm a new loan officer with CHL. I joined here a couple months ago. Today, we're going to be going over the Hometown Heroes. So, if you guys have any questions, any concerns, please just let me know so we could address it, okay? So, let me fix this here. So, what changed in 2025? So, the same thing. Um, you get up to 5% towards your closing cost and down payment up to $35,000. And now you cannot have remote workers. Veterans have to be full-time employed, and the minimum 10K second. So in order for this, in order for the Hometown Heroes to cover your loan, it has to have a minimum of $10,000. So if the property is 300,000, Hometown Heroes could probably cover about 15K. If it's 200,000, then we're looking at around 10K. Anything lower than that, we're gonna have to bring up the loan limit or bring up the price limit in order for it to get the $10,000. Okay.
Pretty quick there on that
Yes.
point, they actually just put in a new amendment to that guideline, and the minimum that you can get is 10,000, even if it goes below 200,000 loan amount. They just changed that recently. So if your client is buying like $100,000 condo, they still get 10,000. So it's the minimum got actually capped at 10,000. So that was good.
Okay. Awesome, guys.
$100,000 loan. The
No.
minimum they get 10,000.
Yeah, the minimum.
The minimum they will get is 10,000.
Yeah. Okay. So program basics.
The loan is 100,000.
The Hometown Heroes is a second loan. Okay, it's a second loan onto the first loan. So it's forgivable. Lock fees. I mean, we could only lock one time and then extend 30 days if needed. But each lender has its different protocols. So we would have to see, what type of terms that they'll give us. Okay. Eligibility. No ownership in the past 3 years. So if a borrower wants to buy a property and they want to apply for the Hometown Heroes, they cannot have any other home or ownership in the past 3 years. Okay. Employment must work full time for a Florida-based employer with a physical Florida location. So, like I said in the earlier slides, there will be no remote jobs that apply for this Hometown Heroes program. Okay. Eligible occupation list: healthcare, school staff, first responders, public safety, court employees. If you guys have a client and you guys aren't sure about if they would qualify or what field they're in, you guys could stop by my office or give me a call, and I could supply you guys with the whole list of everything that borrowers can apply for. Okay. Any questions?
Question.
Yes.
Who applies for FHA in conventional or just FHA?
FHA.
Only FHA?
Yeah, it would be a FHA. Yeah, program with FHA. Income limits. So different counties. So the state of Florida is doing the Hometown Heroes, but different counties have different limits, income limits. So if you're above a certain limit, then that's going to take you out of. So if you have one borrower, let's say that Broward County is up to 128,000, you have one borrower that makes 100,000, that's fine. But if you have two borrowers and they exceed the 128,000, let's say, just to use a number, then they would no longer qualify for the program. Okay, because each county has a certain limit that they cannot pass by, because then they'll say, hey, they're doing great. Why do they even need the help? They won't qualify. Okay. Any questions with that? Cool. Let's go here. Occupancy. This is very important. So I get a lot of calls and people say, hey, I want to buy with Hometown Heroes, but I want to buy a condo because I want to rent it out and possibly I'll live in it, but then I want to. No, this program is for primary residents only. There's not for investors. This is a help that Florida is giving to the borrowers in order for them to purchase their property. Okay, so primary only, cannot be investment. Has to be their goal to occupy the property. Let's see here. Use of funds, down payment and standard buyer closing costs only. So Hometown Heroes cannot cover the appraisal, They cannot cover the inspection. They cannot cover. There's certain costs. It could only cover down payment and closing costs. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it from the Hometown Heroes. I'm not sure if anybody has any other questions regarding that. I have some more material to cover, but on that part, if you guys have any
Yeah,
questions.
I had a client that
Yes.
she wanted to buy a manufactured home, but
Yes.
it wasn't, this loan wasn't available for her. What's the FHLNC? They say it's no FL.
Yeah, so basically that's the Florida FHLMC manufactured. That's a specific. We could look at that a little more, but they don't want these type of manufactured. Okay, so maybe a different type of manufactured property, but this type they wouldn't want it. Okay, um, and then we cover Hometown Heroes up to $35,000 in closing costs. Has to be a primary. There's income limits. Each county has an income limit that we cannot exceed. Um, and then we also have different programs. So I wanted to kind of cover everything. I didn't want to make it just about Hometown Heroes. I want to let you guys know that we have alternative type of loans for people that cannot qualify with a conventional or FHA because they didn't do their taxes correctly, because they didn't declare what they needed to, and now they want to purchase a property. And we have these type of loans that we could pivot to, whether it's a bank statement, DSCR for investors, profit and loss loans, no doc loans. So for a client that I have a client now, they're they don't have any income, but they have the down payment, they have the reserves, and they're buying a property without any income with 20% down. They just required 9 months of reserves, which she has, and these are programs that you guys can let your clients know in the day of tomorrow. Hey, I know that your paperwork isn't correct, but I have a solution for you. And that's more important than anything else in this business, because you want to be able to give solutions to your clients. Okay, so I really want to focus on that, just so everybody knows. Hey, we have a solution for everybody. Okay, we just need to meet the requirements for each program to make it work. Okay, guys, any questions on that? Any scenarios that you guys are working with that you might have some, a client in a rut, or maybe in a situation, hard place, that they need to purchase a home?
I got a question.
Yeah.
So on any of the loans, like first time buyers, right? Most of them there. How much reserves are required for them to have in the bank so they'll qualify for a loan
Well, for the FHA,
for any program?
for any program, I would say, there's different programs. So if we're going to work, look, we have Hometown Heroes, but we also have different down payment assistance programs that we can purchase with a credit score of 500. Okay, but they need 10% down. And then we have another program, 100% financing. Okay, so like let's say the Hometown Heroes goes away, we still have a way to get a client in with 100% financing, and the other part we can structure with getting a credit or a certain percentage from the seller for their closing costs. So if we have 100% financing, and then we also have a seller contributing 3% or 6%, I mean, that's it right there. I mean, who knows? The client might even get some money back at the closing, if everything is structured correctly. But yeah, we could pivot to many different lanes, and we have all the programs that's needed to get the client from point A to point B. Okay. Let's see here. So FHA loans, conventional. We're not going to go into details about each type of loan program, because we'll be here forever. But I really wanted to go over this loan process also with you guys, because it's very important for us to have good communication, and for us to be able to help each other, because we're like I tell all my clients, we're all tied in this race together. Loan officer, title, real estate agent, everybody's tied in together. So if we're all on the same page, and we're all moving together, at the same pace, then we can if we have one person slacking, it brings us all back. If we have one person that's trying to move too fast, everybody else, it's just not gonna, it's not gonna be a good transaction. It's not gonna be a good experience for the client, and it's always, it's always great to have a great communication with all parties involved.
And then
Okay.
before you jump into that, I wanted to make a comment on the Hometown Heroes. And it's the best thing about this program is not necessarily like we don't want you to get caught up in the technicalities of the program, whether somebody qualifies, whether they make too much, too little, if they're in the qualifying occupation. The best thing about this program is that it gives you a reason to call your clients, and it's a conversation starter. Whether they qualify for Hometown Heroes or not, like he said, like we probably have another program for them. So we don't want you guys to get in the habit of disqualifying your leads, right? So if somebody calls you and says, "I own a home, can I qualify for the Hometown Heroes?" Your answer should be maybe. Let's set up a meeting with my broker and let's get you pre-approved, right? If somebody calls you and says, whatever this scenario is, your answer should not be to disqualify that lead. Your answer should be possibly, we have many different options. Let's sit down with Alejandro and figure out what you qualify for, right? So whether it's the bank statement programs, the SCRs, investor loans, Hometown Heroes, right? Don't disqualify your leads or your clients. Just bring them in, have them sit down so you guys can find a solution for them. And this Hometown Heroes, man, you guys should be posting this everywhere, right? Up to $35,000, 5% of the loan amount, up to $35,000 for closing costs and down payment assistance. And you should be getting a lot of leads from this, a lot of inquiries from clients. And again, do not disqualify them. Your answer should possibly, let's sit down with Alejandro and figure it out. So don't miss this opportunity because Hometown Heroes is the new like topic out there in the market. So you guys gotta take advantage of it. And yeah, go ahead.
I have a question about that. I have a client that wants to use the incentives from the city.
Yes.
The Hometown Heroes. Can they use both?
They can't. The reason is Hometown Heroes is a second mortgage, and so is the incentives from the city. The city grants or the county grants, etc. They're usually second mortgages.
Okay.
Right? So they won't take a third lien position or anything like that. Right? But if they don't qualify for Hometown Heroes, maybe we can qualify
Get
for
a
that
grant.
program or vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah, because the city, they don't want to be third. They don't want to be a third lien. They're already giving a help, so they're going to be a second lien. So yeah. So thank you for touching up on that, Mario, because it is very important. A reason to call people that you haven't called 4 or 5 years ago that were on the fence. Hey, John, how are you? I'm calling you because I just want to let you know that this program is available. And then they'll tell you, oh, but I already bought a home. And then you say, well, what about your family? What about your friends? This is a way of networking, a reason. Just like Mario said, hey, let me reach out to somebody. I know that, we closed. They might not want to buy another house, but at least so you could say, hi, how are you? How can I help you? How are your friends? How are your family, your co-workers, and kind of,
Yeah, you're staying on top of mind with your clients. Like we'll worry about whether they qualify or not and what program they qualify for. Like your goal is to just speak to as many clients as possible.
Right.
Do not disqualify them and get them in front of Alejandro. That's it. That's the goal for your calls.
Exactly. Thank you, Mario. So, key to successful closing. I'm sure you guys know that. Teamwork, like I was saying earlier, that we really have to work together in order to make the transaction as less stressful as possible for the client. Main goal and focus. Wow factor. You wanna show that you're a professional, and at the end of the day, so you could get more referrals, and it could be the best. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'm not sure if you guys have any other questions, but we'll be happy here to help. Okay.
You done?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Give me that. All right. Also, if you guys have not joined the WhatsApp community, please do, because we are going to. I spoke to Mario the last couple of days to include the Weston branch and the Pembroke Pines branch in our community. What that will mean is more properties for you to advertise, more communication, and the community will expand. I know a lot of the agents here are always looking for properties to advertise, so now you'll have triple the amount to advertise. I think it's a good situation. It's going to help everybody, and it's just going to be much better. More properties that you're going to know what the commission is. You know if you can advertise them, and it's going to be a great situation. So that we're going to just got to do the welcome letter for them, which I didn't do last night because I went fishing. And no, I didn't catch anything, which is pretty much par for the course. So whoever's going to watch this meeting, not all meetings are going to be filmed. Some of them are, some of them won't. Your presence is not required, but is appreciated. And please turn your phone off, bro. Thank you. The reason for these meetings is for people to get together, for you to meet each other, and to work together and to build relationships. Sitting home watching this, you might as well just watch cartoons, which I don't have a problem with watching cartoons. I still watch Ben 10. That was my son's favorite when he was a baby. I think I've seen every episode, every age group of Ben 10 possibly imagine. So once again, there will be no meeting next week due to the short week. The 11th will be part two of the South Florida title app and the marketing aspect. You're going to get much in detail. A lot of people have already signed up for it. I think it's $10 a year, and are having good success with it. And then the week after that will be Wiley Chambliss. We're going to start touching on foundation. Hopefully it'll be out by then. And then the week after that, I have another insurance company coming. So we have vendors coming, we have everything, and please come and let's be a part of something great. All right, take care.